You have been carrying yourself so carefully lately, as if one more hard thing might cause something inside you to fall to the floor. You have smiled when needed, answered what had to be answered, finished what was in front of you with hands that felt heavier than anyone knew. And when the room went quiet, when the messages stopped, when there was finally no one to perform strength for, you felt how tired you really were. Beloved, you have wondered whether this season would ever loosen its grip. You have wondered if relief was for other people. You have had thoughts you barely said out loud. Maybe this is just how life will be now. Maybe I am always going to be bracing. Maybe I have already used up all my strength. Precious one, you have not only been facing pressure, you have been facing the slow ache of not knowing when it would end. That ache wears on a person, not only the pain itself but the uncertainty of it, not seeing the edge of it. It is hard to rest when your heart has learned to listen for the next disappointment even in quiet places. Dear heart, I know how often you have searched your own life for a reason, for a lesson, for some neat explanation that would make the strain feel worth it. You have tried to be mature about it. You have tried to be patient about it. You have tried not to complain too much, not to ask too much, not to need too much. But you are not weak for feeling worn thin. You are not failing because the weight has felt heavy. A soul can become exhausted from carrying unseen things for too long. That is not failure. That is fatigue. My dear one, there are moments when you have questioned yourself more harshly than anyone else ever could. You have replayed your choices. You have examined your words. You have asked, did I miss something? Did I delay my own peace? Did I make this harder than it had to be? Listen to me carefully. This was not all because you lacked wisdom. This was not all because you were careless. This was not all because you were not enough. Some seasons feel long because they are long. Some burdens feel sharp because they cut deeply. Some stretches of life test your endurance simply because they do. Loved one, you do not have to turn your pain into a moral failure in order to understand it. You do not need to accuse yourself for every closed door, every delay, every silence, every night your chest tightened for reasons you could not name. I have watched you when your confidence dropped quietly, not in one dramatic moment, but in small pieces, a little after another setback, a little after another waiting period, a little after having to be strong again before you had recovered from the last demand. Sweet soul, that kind of weariness can make ordinary things feel difficult. Getting out of bed can feel like negotiation. Answering simple questions can feel like effort. Hope can feel expensive. You have feared becoming cynical. You have feared becoming numb. You have feared that if you allowed yourself to hope again, you might have to survive another disappointment. So part of you has stood back, arms folded around your own heart, trying not to expect too much. I understand that. I do not shame you for that. Guarded hearts are often hearts that have had to heal while still being asked to endure. Dear child, there is tenderness needed here, not pressure. There is gentleness needed here, not another demand to prove yourself. You have already done enough proving. You have already shown endurance. You have already made it through days you once thought would undo you. And still, what you have been longing for is not applause for surviving. It is rest. It is ease. It is a place inside yourself that no longer trembles all the time. Dear one, hear me now. This difficult stretch is not endless. The strain you have been under is not the shape of your whole future. You are closer to the edge of it than you realize, closer than your tired mind can measure, closer than your disappointment has allowed you to believe. When you have been in hardship for a long time, every extra mile feels like proof that there is no destination. But distance can distort perception. Fatigue can lie about how near you are. Beloved, you have been walking through a long hallway with dim light, and because the walls kept stretching around you, you began to believe there was no doorway ahead. But there is a doorway. not imagined, not symbolic only. A real turning point. A real change in what has been pressing on you. You do not have to force it open with panic. You do not have to earn it with more exhaustion. You do not have to collapse before relief is allowed to arrive. Precious one, I want you to stop reading your current weariness as a prophecy. It is not telling you who you will always be. It is only telling you that you have been under strain. That matters. And I honor it. There have been private tears you wiped away quickly. There have been conversations you dreaded because you did not have energy to explain your inner life again. There have been mornings when your first feeling was heaviness, before a single word was spoken. I know, and I have stayed close through every hidden part of it. Loved one, the chapter that has asked so much from you is beginning to loosen. You may not yet see everything changing at once. Some endings arrive quietly. Some burdens lift one strap at a time. But even quiet endings are endings. Even gradual relief is relief. Do not dismiss the first signs simply because they are gentle. A calmer thought. A little more steadiness in your body. One conversation that does not bruise you. One night of deeper sleep. One decision that no longer terrifies you. These things matter. These are not accidents. These are traces of pressure releasing. My dear one, you have been taught by pain to look for danger first. So when peace approaches, you may distrust it. You may wait for it to be taken away. You may think, this cannot last. Something will happen. I should not relax yet. That response makes sense, but it does not have to govern you forever. You are allowed to notice that not every season repeats the last one. You are allowed to admit that the ground beneath you is beginning to feel different. You are allowed to stop gripping so tightly. Beloved child, to those who have supported this mission, please know that we are truly grateful for you. Your generosity helps keep these messages of faith reaching many hearts. We pray that God guides your steps, protects your family, and blesses you in every season. Dear heart, I am not asking you to become instantly cheerful. I am not asking you to deny what this has cost. I am not asking you to pretend that long waiting never bruised you. Healing is not denial. Relief is not forgetfulness. Peace does not require you to erase the road behind you. It is enough to tell the truth gently. This has been hard. I have been tired. I have been afraid. And still, something is changing now. Sweet soul, the end of a testing season does not always begin with fireworks. Sometimes it begins with the return of your own breathing becoming steady. Sometimes it begins with your thoughts no longer racing ahead in fear. Sometimes it begins with one ordinary afternoon that feels lighter than the ones before it. Pay attention to that lightness when it comes. Do not argue with it. Do not interrogate it until it disappears. Let it sit beside you. Let it warm the room. Let it remind you that you were made for more than survival mode. Beloved, you have learned a great deal in this hard place, but I am not measuring your life only by what it can endure. You are not here merely to survive trial after trial until you become a shell of yourself. You are here to live with a heart that can soften again, with joy that does not feel forbidden, with steadiness that does not have to be performed. There are parts of you that have been hidden under pressure, your laughter that used to come more easily, your curiosity, your creativity, your quiet confidence, your sense that life could still hold goodness. These are not gone, they have been waiting. Precious one, what is ending is not only the external strain. What is also ending little by little is the belief that you must always be prepared for pain in order to stay safe. That belief has been exhausting you. It has kept your shoulders tight, your jaw tense, your thoughts vigilant. It has made rest feel almost irresponsible. But rest is not irresponsibility. It is repair. Stillness is not weakness. It is part of how a weary heart learns trust again. My child, you do not need to rush into your next season as though recovery were a luxury you cannot afford. Recovery matters. Tenderness matters. Slowing down matters. Making room inside yourself for what has been ignored matters deeply. You may need time to realize that the pressure is easing. That is all right. Sometimes the body leaves a storm before the nerves do. Sometimes the calendar changes before the heart believes it. Sometimes freedom stands at the door while the mind is still checking the locks. Be patient with yourself there. You are not behind. You are adjusting. Loved one, I want to speak to the part of you that has become afraid of hoping. Hope is not foolish because it was once disappointed. Hope is not childish because circumstances were cruel. Hope is not weakness because you have had to protect yourself. Hope can be quiet. It can sit in a chair by the window without making speeches. It can simply say, maybe the weight is lifting now. Maybe I do not have to live clenched forever. That kind of hope is enough for today. Dear one, you have asked for signs. You have asked for relief. You have asked, sometimes with words and sometimes only with tired eyes, for something to shift. I have heard every one of those prayers that did not even sound like prayers. The long exhale in the dark, the silence after bad news, the stare at the ceiling, the whispered, I cannot keep doing this the same way. None of it was lost on me. None of it disappeared into empty air. There is a tenderness to how I have held you that you will understand more clearly as this chapter closes. You will see, in time, that even what did not make sense did not happen outside my care. Not every answer arrives immediately. Not every reason becomes plain. Not every wound becomes pleasant to remember. But clarity often grows after pressure fades, and gentleness becomes easier to recognize when fear no longer fills the whole room. My dear one, some of what has weighed on you has also been the fear that hard seasons changed you for the worse. You have worried that you are less open now, less joyful, less resilient, less able to believe in good things. Listen closely. You are not ruined. You are not reduced to the worst feelings you have carried. You are not defined by your most exhausted version of yourself. You are a person who has been strained and is now being gathered back together with great care. That gathering takes tenderness. It takes rest. It takes safety. It takes honest love. And you are worthy of that kind of care even now, not later when you become more polished, more productive, more cheerful, more impressive. Sweet soul, the season ahead is not asking you to prove that pain made you better. It is offering you room to become softer without falling apart, to become clearer without becoming cold, to become steadier without becoming hard. This matters, because one of the deepest mercies at the end of strain is not merely escape, it is the return of gentleness inside your own life. Beloved, there will be moments soon when you notice that your mind is not racing the way it used to. A thought will come and it will not drag fear in behind it. There will be moments when your body feels less defended. Moments when you laugh before remembering you were trying to be careful. Moments when music reaches you again. Moments when food tastes like food again. Moments when the future does not feel like a threat. Do not overlook these small restorations. They are holy in their own quiet way. They are evidence that your inner world is being tended. Precious one, I know how tempting it is to compare your timeline to someone else's ease. To wonder why their road seemed shorter, why their breakthrough came sooner, why their losses seemed lighter. Comparison will only deepen the bruise. It will not explain your path, and it cannot measure what has been formed in you with tenderness, depth, and quiet strength. Your story has not been neglected. Your timing has not been forgotten. Your ache has not been overlooked. Dear heart, you are standing nearer than you know to the place where the long night begins to pale. Before sunrise, the tired sky does not always look dramatic. It simply begins little by little to release the blackness it held. That is how some endings come. Not with noise, but with a soft change in the color of things. Not all at once, but enough that you realize you are no longer inside the deepest dark. And when that light comes, you do not need to apologize for feeling relieved. You do not need to downplay it to protect yourself from joy. You do not need to say, "It is probably nothing." It is something. It matters, and you are allowed to welcome it. My child, I want to loosen one more fear from your hands. The fear that the end of this season will somehow be taken back if you relax too soon. You have lived on alert for so long that calm can feel unfamiliar. But unfamiliar does not mean unsafe. New peace can feel strange at first because your heart has been trained to expect interruption. That training can change. Slowly, yes. Tenderly, yes. But truly, you can learn what it is to live without scanning every horizon for bad news. You can learn what it is to rest without guilt pulling at you. You can learn what it is to enjoy something good without waiting for punishment to follow. Loved one, you do not have to become fearless overnight. You only need enough softness to admit that relief is arriving. Enough honesty to stop calling every kindness temporary. Enough courage to sit in one peaceful moment without turning away from it. That is already a beginning. And when old thoughts return, when suspicion rises, when your mind tries to rehearse disaster again, do not condemn yourself. Simply come back to what is true in this moment. The pressure is changing. The load is shifting. The chapter is moving. The harshness is not permanent. My dear one, even now you are being carried more gently than you realize. Not every answer has arrived. Not every detail is settled. There may still be practical things to walk through, conversations to have, decisions to make, repairs to allow. But the deepest thing I want you to know is this: the season of constant proving, constant bracing, constant inner trembling is not where your life is meant to remain. You are coming toward steadier ground, toward quieter mornings, toward evenings that do not feel so crowded inside, toward a version of living where your heart is not always in defense. Dear one, you do not need to force yourself into instant gratitude for everything that hurt. Some pain is simply painful. Some losses are simply losses. But even without wrapping everything neatly, you can begin to recognize that something merciful is happening now. The grip is loosening. The ache is changing shape. The future is opening where fear said it would stay shut. And I am here in that opening, waiting there with gentleness, not with pressure, with rest, not with another impossible demand, with care for the tired places, not disappointment in them. Sweet soul, lay down the need to predict every next step. For tonight it is enough to know that the hardest part is not endless. For tonight it is enough to feel that your chest can soften a little, that your thoughts can quiet a little, that your weary mind does not have to solve tomorrow before it sleeps. You have carried enough for one day, enough for one season, enough for many nights. Now let stillness come closer. Let your shoulders unclench. Let the room become gentle around you. Let quiet be kind to you. Beloved, I will stay near while you unlearn the habit of bracing. I will stay tender while you rediscover ease. I will stay steady while your heart believes, little by little, that the long strain is passing. There is no rush here, no sharp demand, no need to impress me with how quickly you recover. Just rest as you are. Rest with the truth that this season is breaking open. Rest with the knowledge that peace is not avoiding you. And as the hours grow softer, as your thoughts settle one by one, as the weight slides down from places it has clung to for too long, know this in the quiet center of yourself: I remain close through the easing, through the healing, through the first calm moments that feel almost unfamiliar. You do not have to hold yourself together alone tonight. You do not have to explain your tiredness. You do not have to earn this gentleness. Rest now, dear heart. The long strain is not forever. The night is already thinning, and I am still here. Amen. Beloved family, these messages are created with prayer, care, and sincere dedication. We continue this mission with faith each day. If you feel led to support this ministry, you can find the support link in the description and in the comment box below. May God bless your life with peace.